السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على محمد الأمين إمام المرسلين خاتم النبيين وسيد ولد آدم أجمعين، وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين والتابعين إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه، أو كما قال رسول الله. ونسأل الله أن يجعلنا من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. We thank and we praise the Lord of mankind, the one who fashioned us all, the one who makes all things possible and does that which we think is impossible, the creator of you and I, whom we owe everything and to us he owes nothing. We praise and we give all of our thanks through our speech and our actions to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we pray for peace and salutations upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his family, his companions, and those who follow him upon the righteous path unto the day of Deen. Amen. Without further ado, inshallah, today we'll be speaking about a very important topic. And it is a long line of the topics that we are discussing as a community to help improve ourselves and the future generation of Muslims to come in this country. Many times have I spoken about the youth, but today I want to speak about someone connected to the youth. And one of the main driving forces which we are starting to neglect today in the 21st century, and that is the mothers. Inshallah, today we will be speaking about the mothers of the community. But to have an idea, to paint that picture, because as we know, history exists so that we may learn from it. So to help paint the picture of how influential and how important this subject matter is, there's a few examples from the past that I would like to share. Rabi'atul Ra'i was one of the greatest scholars of Islam. His father was part of the army of Uthman ibn Affan at the time, and when Rabi'a was young, his father, that was part of the army of Uthman radiallahu anh, they went to Khurasan, and they were leaving for a very long time. So Rabi'a's father gave 30,000 gold coins to his mother and said, here, use this to take care of yourself. I will be away for a very long time, you know, inshallah. So you hold on to this, and then we're going to go and do things for the sake of Allah, inshallah, and come back. That was the nature of the time they were living in. He goes away for many years and he comes back. And as a sunnah of the Prophet, when he came back from war, he went to the Masjid first. When he went to the Masjid, he saw a young man with a very huge audience, a very huge crowd surrounding him. And that young man was one of the 7 fuqaha of Medina. A big sheikh, spreading knowledge, a lot of people around him, such a young guy. And the father looks at the young guy and said, mashallah, to achieve that at such a young age, that is a great accomplishment, mashallah. And then he goes home. When he goes home, he asks his wife, or the mother of Rabi'a, what did you do with the money I gave you? And the mother says, go to the masjid and see your son, and you will see what I have done with the money. He goes back to the masjid and realizes the young man who was one of the 7 fuqaha of Medina was actually his son Rabi'a. And that his mother had used the money to put it towards his education, and now his son was one of the greatest scholars that Islam has ever seen. And to have, again, a good idea of how how much influential and how important the decision of a mother is. We all know the famous example of Imam Malik. Imam Malik, you know, I need not to read his bio. We all know how much of a great scholar he is. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us are familiar with the story, if for those who are not. When he was young, before he was Imam Malik, when he was just Malik, his father was paralyzed, so there was not much his father could do physically. So his father made arrows. His father made and sold arrows for a living. So imagine in this condition, there's not much, you know, his father could be doing for his son. But his mother was a very smart woman. He tells his mother, Mom, I want to be a singer. You know, when I grow up, I want to become a huge singer. because the singers at the time, and even to this day, we see it in this culture, they're celebrated, they have fans, they get popular. That is what Malik wanted at the time. And subhanallah, look at the intelligence. Look at the wisdom. Look at the move this mother made. A move that today somebody with a PhD in psychology would be thinking of. She told her son that in order to be a singer, you need to be very attractive. You need to be good looking. And Malik at the time was very good looking. But she also added that you need to maintain your good looks. And you are only as good or valid as a singer as long as you look good. So what happens as time goes on? You start to lose that attractiveness. So she put this doubt in his head. Now this might seem light, but there's a very huge lesson in what she just taught him. She taught him that, my son, if you are going to chase a career, if you are going to find a purpose in life, it has to be something that you can take with you to old age. And what is that? That will always be knowledge that will benefit other people. Because if you gain knowledge, you could be 100 years old, people will still have find a reason to come and sit next to you and benefit from you. But in the world of glamour, in the world of, if we're going to bring it in today's context, in the world of social media, in the world of being famous, for those of us who are aspiring to become singers, who are aspiring to become any type of job or any type of lifestyle which requires looking beautiful, looking handsome, focusing too much on the looks, focusing too much on how we present ourselves, it is not always that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep you in that condition. This is why the Prophet advised, when you are going to look for a wife, or when you are going to look for a husband, it is not haram to choose someone because of how beautiful they look, or how attractive they are. But those are one of the qualities that over time, it is part of human nature, you start to lose it. If you want to engage in a career, and these are messages that the Muslim youth are not being exposed to. And this is unfortunate because some of the parents themselves, some of the adults themselves are engaged in this lifestyle before they can even begin to advise their own children. A lifestyle where the appearance matters so much. One of my friends, when I began college, told me, how is it, because we were all in the Muslim Student Association, and every time it was time to speak, alhamdulillah, I would share the little knowledge I have, and you can see, everybody was happy, we would all benefit from each other. And one of my friends, he came to me, he said, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to dressing up, you ain't all that. It's not like you got some type of Gucci, some type of expensive clothing that I can look at you and say, you know what, this guy is up there. But for some reason, when I see you to be up there. Like, what is it that you do? I told him, if I buy $1,000 watch today and I show it to you, you're going to be impressed with me. But when I leave this building and somebody steals the watch, and you see me the next day, are you still going to be impressed with me? He said no. I said, if I go and memorize the Quran, and you are impressed with that, when I'm walking out home at night, can somebody steal this Quran from my head? Can somebody take away the knowledge that you have been blessed with? This is what makes knowledge so valuable. Once you have it, it's for you. And what makes it even more valuable, knowledge cannot be passed down from generation to generation. Your father could be the biggest imam the world has ever seen. If you do not put in the work, if you do not put in the determination and the courage and the seriousness that is required to gain the knowledge, you will never become like your father. And such is the same in perspective from the fathers to their children. You can have all the money in the world. That is something they can lose at any time. like I said before, once, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes your life away today, if they inherit your apartment, they're going to be paying the same rent that you was paying before. But if you leave them with something in their souls, if you leave them with a special type of iman, if you leave them with a certain amount of knowledge, that is something that nobody can take away from them until the day of Deen, or unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills something different. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases all of us in knowledge, because we need the knowledge for ourselves before we can begin to even pass it down to the younger generation. So the mother of Imam Malik, she was very smart. And indirectly, she could have simply told him, no, you are a Muslim, and music is haram, and how dare you think about being a singer? She didn't go that route. Instead, she persuaded him, she used the trick of psychology to convince him that these are the requirements, and these requirements are something that you don't have. She said, why don't you go towards knowledge? Seek some knowledge. You can use this knowledge to benefit people. The people will like you just like they would like you if you used to be a singer, but for this one, it's something more beneficial. And what's even more great about it is that you are doing this for the sake of Allah, so Allah will love you, and then the people will love you. And then again, the mothers, they are so influential. They have so much insight, but we're not paying attention to that today. When she would be taking care of him, and she would give him a bath, and when she's putting on his clothes, she would ask him, my son, how many rak'ah is there in Salatul Dhuhr? Oh, mother, I know. It's 4 rak'ah. Oh, mashallah, my son is so smart that he started to enjoy it. He started to feel proud of himself. She started to make him feel like a scholar from a young age. This is very important. Look at how smart she was. If you want your son to become a doctor, at a young age, you buy him a stethoscope. The things that the doctors put to your heart to check your heartbeat, you buy a little one for him. My son, I'm not feeling well. Come and check my heartbeat. They put it to your chest. Father, your heartbeat is steady. You seem to be good. Oh, my son, I'm feeling sick. Can you check my temperature? You let them put their fingers. All of these little actions, you're preparing their mind to be there. This goes back to what I've been saying before. If you do not become your child's best friend, somebody else will become their best friend. Once you become close with your child from a young age, all these little activities that you are planting in their life will begin to shape who they become as a person. A perfect example of this is when we see those funny videos online that goes viral. When we see the videos of the young kid copying the actions of their mother and their father. Their minds are like sponges. It's ready to receive. There's a very beautiful video of a young boy. The father was speaking with the guest. The young boy pulls up next to his parents. He puts out the sajada and he starts praying. Allahu Akbar, about 4 or 5 years old. Very young. Sami Allahu liman hamida, and everybody's laughing, mashallah. But there's something very important going on. He has been surrounded by this culture so much that he's starting to do it on his own. My mothers and my fathers here, how much of these actions are we implanting on our children? And as you know, every week I come, I have to bring you stories from the masjid. Because a lot of the parents drop their children at the masjid and leave like it's a babysitting service. And they have no idea what is going on with the lives of the children in the masjid. So inshallah, I will share some with you. A lot of these kids, when I see how they behave, I can tell the culture that is going on in their house. We have students. He's holding the Quran, but unconsciously he's singing. He's rapping. He's quoting lines from movies. And when I asked the children, based on how they're singing, I said, in your house, you guys listen to music and watch a lot of movies? He said, yes. Because the things he's doing at home all the time it's starting to reflect in his behavior. So to my parents here, if we do not become careful, and we're not perfect. Sometimes us as Muslims, we slip. We watch something inappropriate. We listen to music once now and then. But the danger of doing this in front of the children and thinking that, oh, he's young, he's not going to understand it, is because that they're still soaking all of this in. Otherwise, why would they have advertisements on children's channels? Disney Channel and all this Cartoon Network, why would they put an advertisement for a car in between cartoons for children? It's preparing their mind for something else. And this is a whole nother conversation. We ask that Allah Ta'ala protect us from psychological influences from outside. So the mother of Imam Malik started to place these little actions in his life, and that ended up shaping who he became. And Imam Malik became one of the most influential scholars to have ever lived. His work is still relevant and applicable and beneficial to this day. And had he become a singer, his music would have probably only been enjoyed during his time. So she started buying him clothing of the ulama. She would buy him very nice clothing, buy him the hats, buy him, the books. Again, surrounding him with the objects, preparing him for the life that he is to come and live. We don't just raise them anyhow and then expect that once they hit 15, I'm going to send him to go and learn Quran and everything's going to be okay. If you want a child to become a hafiz in the future, even from 1 year old, always have Quran playing in your house. There is a certain sheikh that I was with for a certain time. I wouldn't want to mention his name, but when I was there, his household, 24/7, is Quran playing, Quran playing. One day, his 4-year-old son, I catch him reading along to Surah An-Nisa, to the Quran that was playing. I said, how did you know? Wait, you memorized the surah? He said, no, I hear this all the time. So now he starts to get used to it. It was almost like a schedule. Every morning, Baqarah is being repeated, on repeat. Tuesday, Al Imran. Wednesday, An-Nisa. They keep hearing the same surah over and over again. By the time that they're 6, 7 years old, even though they have never sit in front of a sheikh, they have already some of the ayats in their mind. So many little things that we can do to prepare and shape the minds of the youth for the future that we want for them. But it has to come from us. My brothers and sisters, we need to stop being lazy. There is a laziness that has affected the ummah today. I am confident that half of the things I have said today, most of us are aware of. That we already know. But actually getting up to do it is a whole nother thing. Because when we come home from work, you have two choices. You can go ahead and enjoy yourself. Because you've convinced yourself, I was working hard, so I need to come home and enjoy. Or you can pay attention to your family. The choice is up to you. But the difference between us and the kuffar is that one day we will answer to these choices. One day we will have to stand in front of Allah and explain why we made such choices. And we ask that Allah Ta'ala make us among the people who will have a very good answer for Allah. So one of Imam Malik's teachers was a very famous sheikh. His name was Nafi' ibn Umar. And he was, mashallah, he was a very huge scholar. And he was also very strict. To have a good sense of how important and how great of a scholar this man was. There was something called, for the people who study hadith, there's something called the golden chain. And this was a direct chain of knowledge from the Prophet that was very hard to find. So it started with Imam Shafi' to Imam Malik, to Imam Nafi' to Ibn Umar, to the Prophet. Very direct chain of knowledge when it came to hadith. And Imam Nafi' Ibn Umar was very strict about his time. He didn't like it now that he's going somewhere. People come to him, Sheikh, inshallah, I have a question. No. If you have a question, you come to my dars. When I'm teaching, you ask the question. And when I'm at home, you leave me at home to do my research and my study. So Imam Malik was very young, among very, big scholars and adults trying to learn. So it was difficult for him to get to ask a question. Look at the wisdom of Imam Malik. Again, all of these things he's doing, the seed was planted by his mother. He used he found out where the sheikh lived. And then he would hang around where the sheikh's house was. When the sheikh is leaving, he would walk with the sheikh as if it's a coincidence. Oh, you're going to the masjid? Inshallah, sheikh, please, let's go together. He would walk with the sheikh. When they go to the masjid, since he was with him, when the sheikh placed his shoes, he placed his shoes next to the sheikh. So when it's time to leave, he also pick up his shoes. Oh, inshallah, sheikh, let me take you home. This continued till he became acquaintances with the sheikh. The sheikh became familiar with his face and knew him by a first name basis. This is when he took advantage, when he's walking him home. Sheikh, what about this hadith? You mentioned this hadith and I wanted to know the authentic sources of that hadith. He got to ask the questions that he couldn't ask before. And this contributed to him becoming one of the most influential scholars. Again, a seed planted by the mother. So the mothers of these kids have so much potential. The women in our community have so much potential to change the world. My question today is, what are we doing to take care of them? What are we doing to prepare them for this? We all know of the popular hadith, where a man came to the Prophet and asked, who deserves my utmost, strongest obedience and companionship? After Allah and the Prophet, what did the Prophet say? Your mother. Thumma man, your mother. Thumma man, your mother. Thumma man, then your father. And I once explained, something amazing about this hadith is that it reflects a scientific discovery that was found not too long ago, which we know that in cell division, in the process of reproduction, half of the DNA is coming from the mother and half of the DNA is coming from the father. But they discovered a new type of DNA found in the mitochondria that is only coming from the mother. So when you do the math, the mother is actually contributing 75% of the DNA and the father is contributing 25%. If you put this in numbers, it is 3-1. Just like the hadith of the Prophet, the mother 3 times and then the father only 1. Allahu Akbar. This is how important the mothers are in our community. Now my question is, what are we doing to take care of them? My question to the mothers, what are they doing to tap into this potential that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with? You are one of the most influential people in the world, automatically being a mother. Because the love of a mother is entirely different from anything the world has ever seen. A mother would be sick, but refuse to go and take care of herself until their own children is fine. A mother would be angry with her son, and while she's screaming at him, she's cooking food for him at the same time. It's only the mother. My question is, what are we doing to protect, to take care of the women in our community, the mothers in our community? Because if we do not take care of them, they will not be in perfect condition to help us take care of the kids, to help us inspire. If we go back to the Quran, look at Ismail, for example. His father Ibrahim left him when he was young. It was the mother that was raising him the whole time. She could have told Ismail, oh, did you see your father? He left all these years. He wasn't there for your birthday. He didn't even come and he didn't buy me anything for my anniversary. She could have made those complaints. Instead, she raised Ismail to have such impeccable iman, to the point when his father came back and his father told him, I had a dream that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked me to sacrifice you. فَانْظُرْ مَاذَا تَرَى, tell me what is your opinion. Ismail opens his mouth and says, my father, do as you have been commanded. Insha'Allah, satajidini insha'Allah min as-sabirin. You will find me among those who are patient. Imagine the iman. Your father, you have not seen him your whole life. He comes back saying that Allah has asked you to sacrifice you. Where did this iman come from? The mother was the one who raised him to be like this. Our mothers, the mothers of the children today, can raise the children to be like this. But the men who have the responsibility of taking care of the mothers, of taking care of the sisters, what are we doing for them? When's the last time we asked about how they're feeling? I'm not talking about in the morning you see each other, Assalamu alaikum, how you doing? No, you sit down and have a one-to-one conversation with your wife, a one-to-one conversation with the aunt, the one-to-one conversation with the sister. How are you feeling inside? What's going on in your mind? Because the mothers are very stressed today. They are very, very stressed. And if the mother is stressed, the children will be stressed. The backbone of the household is the mother. And this is very, mashallah, for those of us who have the mothers who travel, you see the difference in the house when the mother is not home. When the mother travels, all of a sudden the trash is always full. The sink is always full. The food is not the same. Things is just different. Both the husband and the children cannot wait for the mother to come back home. This is how important they are in our lives. But what are we doing as men, as brothers who are in charge of taking care of them? And this is not my opinion. The Prophet Muhammad said, the best of you are those who are best to their wives. What have you been doing for your wife, for the mother of your children, to ensure that she is physically healthy and psychologically healthy enough to take care of these kids? Because wallahi, if the mother is good, she will have and already I said they have that potential. Allah has given them the potential. They have the seeds to plant inside these children. Inshallah, you never know. You have another Imam Malik waiting inside your house right now. All it takes is for you to just make sure that you pay attention to the family and that the mother, again, is okay. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who pay attention to the wives, those who pay attention to the mothers. Those of us who our mothers are still alive, inshallah, we ask that Allah does not make us among the people who forget about their mothers, and that we return and let them know how grateful we are for what they have done for us. The mothers, the mothers, the mothers. What are we doing for them? What programs do we have for them? Breast cancer is on the rise. When's the last time we checked in with our wives and with the mothers? Take them to the hospital, get them checked for if they are in risk for breast cancer. There are certain foods, if you eat, it lowers their risk for breast cancer. What are we feeding the mothers? What are we feeding them? Are we giving them sugar all the time? Processed food? Artificial food? Because we need them to be healthy. What are we doing to help the mothers cope with their stress? A lot of the illnesses that women experience, half of the time you will find it has something to do with stress. I don't want to go too much into detail, but being extremely stressful contributes to the deficiency of your immune system. The part of your body that fights diseases, if you are too much stressed, that the defense of your body, it goes low. What are we doing to make sure the mothers are not stressed? Today, we are the ones who are stressing the mothers. And it should not be like this. Raising the Muslim youth is a teamwork effort. If the mother's side is not good, then all things will be lost. So inshallah, my brothers here, those who have wives, those who have aunts, those who have sisters who are mothers, let us start to pay more attention to them. Let us be there for them. And it sounds difficult, but it's really not. And it's not just a simple task of, oh, you know, what do you want? I'll buy it for you. We need to educate them as well. The mothers need to be educated, so she can take the little knowledge she has again and start to implant it into the children. The knowledge plus the wisdom that Allah has blessed them together might be the reason why your child will grow up to become a great person in the future. Look at all these famous people today. The billionaires, the actors, the influential people, all of them have a common story of their mothers being there for them when nobody else was not. And, you know, I think my father even mentioned the story before. He told me that he has never said no to his mother. His whole life, to the day he's breathing today, my father told me he has never said no to his mother. His mother asked him to do something, he said no, give an excuse, never. No matter what he's doing, he could be planning to travel to another country. His mother says this, then this is what it's going to be. And because of that love he has shown to his mother loves him so much, when she raises her hand to make dua for him, Allah accepts it directly. So he said when people ask him, how did he go from being a taxi driver to becoming a doctor within 10 years? He says, it's not because I'm smarter than people. It's not because I have some secret techniques. I have never said no to my mother. So when she makes dua for me, Allah always accepts it. So how are we going to prepare the youth to be disobedient for the mothers? And how are we going to prepare the mothers again, so they can take care of the children? We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the mothers for what they have been doing. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله القائل يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى أهله وصحبه. Alhamdulillah, today we spoke about the importance of mothers in the lives of their children. We gave the example of Imam Rabi'ah and how his mother took the 30,000 gold coins her husband gave her before he left for war. She could have bought shoes, she could have bought jewelry and make herself shiny, and you know, instead she invested in her son, put it towards his education, and he ended up becoming one of the fuqaha of Medina. We talked about Imam Malik, how he went from Malik, who wants to become a singer, to Imam Malik, one of the sheikhs in the golden chain of hadith. And how all of this was due to the effort of the mother, who influenced him, shaped him, put little things and activities and talked to him in certain ways that prepared his mind for becoming the great scholar he became in the future. Today we ask the question, what are we doing as husbands, as brothers, to take care of the women in our community? And very interestingly, the same way how I said, if you do not become your children's best friend, somebody else will become their best friend. If you do not become your wife's best friend, somebody else will become her best friend. When something happens to her, who she's gonna go tell first? They're not telling their husbands today. And let's be honest. Because we are not allowing them to feel comfortable enough for them to tell us certain things, for those of us who have wives. And then they go to other people and they go to the internet and they get bad advice, they bring it home and it starts to influence the household. How many marriages were separated because the wife went outside to seek advice from other people, when it should have been consolidation between her and her husband? When a problem happens, how many times do both sides, not only the wives but the husbands, go outside when they should come and sit down and talk it out together? All of these are things that can be solved once us as men fulfill our responsibility and take care of the sisters. And it's not only, on us. The sisters and the mothers and the wives have their responsibilities as well, but that will be another topic for another day. But for today, we're talking about, from the brothers to the sisters, what are we doing to ensure that they are healthy, that they are psychologically healthy, that they are physically healthy, that they are educated enough to raise our children to become the great future leaders we need in Islam. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it possible for us. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help give us the wisdom to be able to treat them the way they are. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the knowledge to be able to fulfill their rights as wives and mothers. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless them and bless them. And I would like to leave with this last message. And this message is to the sisters. Wallahi, the potential you have is amazing. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the woman is something that you have the potential to turn the world upside down. And unfortunately, the culture that is outside today degrades women. It makes them seem like they are nothing but sidekicks. They are nothing but people on the side who have no type of contribution to the society as well. If the women of the society are not good, then the society itself is spoiled. I will repeat, if the women of the society are not in good condition, then the whole community is not in good condition. And it is up to you, my sisters. This tells you how important you are. So never allow people, and I'm saying this because right now, on social media, and how TV is being advertised, and some of the messages that are being spread through schools and stuff, it is indirectly teaching women to think less of themselves, to think that they have to prove themselves to other people before they know their worth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already proved your worth by making you a woman, by making you a wife, by making you a mother. And that enough is a crown that you will hold on the day of judgment that nobody else can take from you. So my sisters, please continue to believe in yourself. Never look down upon yourself, and know that you are worth it. And you will never not be worth it by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask that Allah ta'ala bless the women. We ask that Allah ta'ala bless the men as well. We ask that Allah ta'ala prepare us mentally and psychologically to be able to take care of the women. Today, there are many people who are suffering around the world as Muslims. We see what is happening in the concentration camps to the Uyghurs. We see what is happening in India and all these other countries. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant success to the Muslims, grant victory to the Muslims, ease their pain, and whatever pain they are going through, may Allah ta'ala convert it to good deeds for them on the day of judgment. Each and every single one of us sitting here right now have some personal problem that you are dealing with in your life that nobody knows about. Even your wives, your children, nobody knows about these struggles that you are dealing with internally. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the power of kun fayakun, that He deals with these troubles for us, and that on the day of judgment we are able to stand in front of Allah and smile because we know we did the best that we could. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And of course, as you know, fi sabilillah, when they say donate, please donate, and donate generously to the Masjid. The Masjid is here to serve us, and when you donate, you never lose, you only increase. When you donate, please go in the 10s and the 20s. Do not go in the pockets with the ones and the coins. Inshallah, Allah will only reward you. Allahumma salli ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة وقد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Wa'atan wa taras. If your cell phones are on, please turn them off or put them on silent and make space for the brothers coming in the back. Jazakumullah khair. Stow. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. أكبر الله أكبر ربي ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah Ta'ala accept our prayers. Just wanted to let everyone know, inshallah, I will be coming to this masjid tomorrow at 1 o'clock to speak to the youth. So if you have any of your children that you would like to bring, I would especially prefer teenagers, or at least between the ages of 9, 10, 11 years above. Those who are in middle school type-ish, I'll be speaking to the youth tomorrow, inshallah, at 1 o'clock in this masjid tomorrow, Saturday. So if you can, inshallah, again, you can bring your children, again, preferably above the ages of 11, 10 going up, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every day.
Support your masjid. Support the masjid, please.
Samba Jallo. Samba. Namuli mana bide. Namuli biya.
Mimbe ame plan ate.